I've got a question for you guys, the Chelsea supporters. Are you? I wouldn't say worried about Tuchel, but Chelsea have had big promise this year to compete to definitely win a trophy after buying Lukaku for big money. You won the European Cup. You were. I think you got more points than anyone else as soon as you came in outside Man City. I think at the moment, are you a bit disappointed how the season span and moving forward? You look at the changes at United. We know Liverpool, City, West Ham will stay at a top level. Spurs will spend money at Conte. We won't be there. Are you a bit worried that he's not been able to put Lukaku into the team? And you're having these little performances against Brentford. You had a dodgy December, January, where you're not really kicking on because at the beginning of the season, it was like Tuchel's the guy to challenge Klopp and Pep. But at the moment, you're just third in the league, and it's kind of like a waiting for the piranhas behind you to come get you. I think he's done a marvelous job alongside the sanctions. That's the backdrop of that. I think he's done brilliantly. But what is Tuchel life at Chelsea really? What does it look like for you guys moving forward? Because he's won the Champions League, but is he the guy to bring you the league again?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I'll go to you after if that's okay. But yeah, I think with Chelsea, I think I don't know. I think with us, the priority isn't really the Champions League. Obviously, we've got. I think if you were to ask Pep, like, okay, you can either win the treble with, the FA Cup and League Cup and the Prem, or you can just win the Champions League. I think he'd just say, "I won the Champions League." I think if you give him a lie detector, he'll say, "I'd rather just win the Champions League on its own." But with Tuchel, it's an interesting one because I think he's obviously found a system that he likes. He likes playing with three at the back, which I've never been a massive fan of, but I think obviously it's working. And then we had a lot of success under Conte a few years ago on that system as well. And someone like Alonso, when Chilwell's been injured, he's managed to flourish under there as well. But the Lukaku issue is, it is disappointing. I think when he came in, Lukaku, and then he was scoring goals right at the start, I just thought, okay, great. I know he got injured, and I get that. And I know Tuchel's made a big point to say, like, oh, you're injured, he's not really fit, and like basically saying that he's not fit enough, he's not match fit, and he's just like, it's taking him a long time to recover from the injury, etc. I think obviously that hasn't helped that Havertz's form has suddenly kind of skyrocketed, so it's coincided at the same time. But in saying that, like, he's managed to play Havertz and Werner together. So what's to say that he can't play Lukaku and Havertz, Lukaku and Werner? So I think it is possible. He's played it as a two at Inter Milan as well with Martinez. So like in a very, very similar system. So I think the issue that Tuchel has is that he wants to play either one of Havertz and Lukaku, and Havertz is his man. Like, he's his main man. I don't think he wants to play them both together. I think he did say that he just needs. I had an interview with him, and he said that Lukaku just needs a couple of moments where, like, he basically scores goals or is good form. I guess like how Werner's had recently, and then great, okay, he's back. But then my question to Tuchel would be, okay, if he does that, great, but where does he fit in? Because it kind of feels like the team that Tuchel's putting together at the moment, there isn't room for Lukaku to start anyway. I feel like he's someone who, okay, he's in there to rotate, but he's not his first choice, which is a shame because he's born for a lot of money and he is a natural goal scorer. I'm also not a massive believer in that his first touch is really poor. I think it has been in the past, but I think it's much improved, and I think he's more than good enough. And if he's got service, he'll score goals. But I know he went through a bit of a drought, and that was because he was making a lot of good runs, but he had absolutely zero service for large parts where Chelsea was struggling. So, disappointing, I think, but we'll see. I don't think Lukaku's going to get a big run of games. I just have a feeling whilst Tuchel's there, I can't see Lukaku particularly flourishing. But then in saying that, not many strikers have flourished at Chelsea. We had a discussion before one of the previous pods. We just seem to burn world-class strikers. Ash, what are your thoughts?
I'm not ultimately too disappointed with this season. I think that it very easily could have been that we won the League Cup final. I think we probably edged it, even though it was a close game. That could have gone to us. We could easily still be in the Champions League. having taken the lead against Real. And if that was the case, you'd be looking at the season completely differently. If you add the Super Cup and the Club World Cup, that was a big deal for us actually winning the Club World Cup, because we've not done it before, and that sort of complete the set. So it really could have gone another way, and I think we've been unlucky in terms of injuries, and it has been a case of in our midfield, Jorginho may be fit, but then Kovacic is injured or Kante's injured, and then Kovacic is fit, but Jorginho is injured, and we just lack that stability that you really need to maintain a consistent title charge for the season. But I've probably not backed a manager as much as I have Tuchel for a long time. I really think he's the guy. He just, the way he commands himself, what he demands from his players. I just really rate him as a manager. But I think the key will be in the summer, we have to get our recruitment right. If Rudiger leaves, that's going to be a big loss. Thiago Silva's not getting any younger. Yeah, as much as he's an amazing centre back, there's really not much left in the tank, I don't think. So this summer really is on a knife edge. It could go one way, and we could really sort of fall behind Liverpool and City. Or with some good recruitment, I think we can get back up there, because, as I said, I really think Tuchel's the man. And I think with a good summer, we may have a chance next season. I think that's the thing. Chelsea's ability to relentlessly win trophies, FA Cups, Champions Leagues, Europa Leagues, covers up the fact that actually we haven't had a consistent a side that's been able to consistently perform for about 5 years, since Conte's side in 2017, which won the league. I think that's papered over quite a lot of cracks. But with Tuchel as manager, good recruitment in the summer, whether that means selling Lukaku and getting someone else in, or giving Lukaku another chance, I'm not too sure. I think we've got a good chance, especially with the young players we do have. I think Reece James, Mount, Havertz, they're all only going to get better. We've got some great players out on loan currently. Gallagher. There's a guy called Levi Colville at Huddersfield in the Championships who's had sort of a Reece James or Wigan sort of season. He's a centre back. I think he could be in the starting lineup next season. I think Tuchel rates him. So I think it all hinges on the summer. A good summer, and we could be making a serious title charge. But an average to bad summer, I think we could be in trouble.
Yeah, I think if we lose Rudiger, we're screwed. To say it lightly, to be fair, he's influential. I think it'll be a nightmare if we don't somehow manage to sort that out. But yeah, but I agree. I think Tuchel is. I think we will make a run at the Premier League. I think I'm a little bit disappointed more in terms of the fact that I think we had the side to challenge, but we kind of just fell away pretty quickly. But yeah, Tuchel, I think, is definitely, he's got drive. You can see in determination. I think, but I agree with Ash about recruitment. I think I'm not 100% sure what we exactly need, but we need to start looking at, Thiago Silva, Azpilicueta as well. Like, he's a massive player, but he's coming towards the back end now. We've got a lot of young players in there, so they'll only get better for sure. I've been quite happy with like Loftus-Cheek recently as well. I'm happy that like he's actually playing. I think he's got the skill set, but he just needs to apply himself. So we'll see.
Sorry to cut you off, but do you think with all the off the field issues at Chelsea, can you have a strong summer? Because after the license ends in May, the club is is sanctioned, can't do anything, can't renew contracts, of course, until that sale is been processed and approved. And who's that owner? Even as today, we saw a new consortium, likes of Lewis Hamilton and Serena Williams.
Yeah, I was going to say
yeah. So I think Chelsea will lean on a lot of your youth players. But just two questions. Yeah, are you worried about that as well? Of course, in the summer, that will be a big issue for not having the summer that you guys want. And I've lost my train of thought now. I've lost it. I'll come back to me. Answer the question.
The youth players is like, I actually love the season where Lampard, we had no we weren't able to buy anyone. So then we were banned for a year, and I just thought it was great. And that's where Tammy Abraham obviously broke through. I know he's not on the side anymore, but he's doing well at Roma. Mason Mount, obviously. I mean, look, he's a sure thing now on the side. He's influential. And, I think, I think for me, it's not a bad thing. We've got a really good youth system in place. Our youth sides always do really well. And I think sometimes they don't get a great look in some of the players. So I don't see why it would be terrible for the side, for the club. But I do also think that obviously making a run in the Premier League specifically, I don't think it helps those chances most likely, because we've already got some young players in the side and we need that experience in there, especially if we're going to lose some players, which I think we may lose. For example, someone like a Rudiger, bringing in another youngster into the side, probably, it's not really going to help over the course of the season. I think, yes, it's great for us longer term, but if we're thinking about just the season next year, we need to strengthen the side, I think, with a couple of transfers. Yes, we still need to kind of, blood some, not the best at doing. I think the cup competitions definitely we need to do it, but that's my thoughts on it. Ash, what's yours?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely still that uncertainty about what actually the club will look like in come summer and come the start of next season. So kind of dealing with a lot of if buts and maybes. But I'd say Chelsea almost thrives under chaos and uncertainty in a way, because there seems to be a winning mentality across the club. And perhaps that might change with ownership. But I think if we retain that, and as long as the owners are willing to back the club, okay, maybe not to the same extent as Abramovich, but fundamentally concerned with improving the squad, improving the stadium, improving the whole structure of the club. We've got a great women's team, great academy, making sure that remains a strong aspect of the club. I think I'm still quite confident that it won't really be a massive turning point, really, and actually in Chelsea as a whole. It remains to be seen. Got my fingers crossed that whoever it is that comes in is committed to making the right decisions for the club and for the fans, who at the end of the day, they just want to see their team winning football matches, winning trophies. I'm still hopeful for the summer and beyond. But we'll see which direction we go in.